Undertale is a bad game. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not talking about the gameplay itself. Undertale offers a great experience to players with its rich story and unique encounters. This is one of those games that shape your vision, leave you hollow for a while after finishing it. Then what makes it bad? Well, you've probably heard this before, but the code of the game sucks.
Undertale is the best example of this. Undertale is made by Toby Fox. Undertale is a brilliant goddamn game. It's very good. It's also coded like shit. And that's fine.
It's general knowledge by now that the code Toby Fox wrote is far from optimal. Even he admits it. The dialogue system is handled within a single massive object that checks for thousands of conditions before displaying the right text. And on the topic of text, do you know how this moving text effect works? Toby Fox decided that the best way to do it was to destroy and redraw the text every frame. That being said, Undertale wasn't a hit because of its code efficiency or because it's provided a bug-free, flawless playing environment. In fact, the game is known for its workarounds that enable speedrunners to perform incredible exploits. The code is messy, but that doesn't take away from the fact that Undertale is one of the most impactful indie games ever made. It's taken all this praise because of the story it tells and how it delivers that story. Toby Fox had a vision, an RPG with different endings, where choices actually matter. An RPG where you don't have to fight the same monsters again and again, with different visuals and numbers. Instead, each monster provided a unique encounter with the ability to spare, attack, and use various options that make battles meaningful. Each run had different encounters with different possible endings. This unique approach to gameplay and storytelling is what made Undertale a success, not its technical brilliance. Each enemy encounter feels handcrafted, forcing the player to think creatively about their approach. Some battles involve dodging projectiles in a bullet hell style, while others play on emotions, humor, or even break the fourth wall. Undertale constantly surprises players, proving that creativity and vision matter more than pristine coding or flawless execution. This game hides one of the most underrated yet valuable pieces of advice you'll ever hear. It doesn't have to be perfect. I started making video games 4 years ago, and over this time, I've noticed that everyone is trying to make their dream game. Everyone has an idea for the next indie hit that will change the world. And while there is nothing wrong with that, most people take the hardest possible road to achieve it. They try to learn everything: engine mechanics, physics, shaders, programming languages, waiting for the moment they'll be ready. But here's the truth: knowledge comes from practice. People assume they need to master every aspect of game development before they can create something worthwhile. They spend months, years maybe, planning their ultimate game, only to never actually build it, which is a shame. What they don't realize is that failure and iteration are the real teachers. You learn far from finishing a flawed game than from endlessly studying how to make a perfect one. And if everyone is trying to make the next big game, who is making all this crappy Pong and Flappy Bird clones? Those are important too. These small projects are your ideal benchmarks to understand what it takes to make a game. And every famous developer you know has likely made tons of terrible games that never even made it to the internet. And this explains why an overnight success actually takes years to achieve. The people who succeed in this field weren't just lucky. Well, maybe a little bit lucky, but it wasn't the only factor. Your one-in-a-lifetime opportunity will come. But does that even matter if you're not ready for it? Take a moment to think about the biggest indie hits in recent years. Celeste, Hollow Knight, Stardew Valley. Each of these games was built by developers who had already worked on smaller projects and learned through experience. None of them were created by someone who just woke up one day and decided to make a masterpiece. Now you might be confused, thinking, okay, I shouldn't seek perfection, yet I need to make sure I'm ready. And yes, that's exactly right. This concept can be illustrated through a story. A pottery class was divided into 2 groups and given a month. The first group was tasked with making one perfect vase, their dream vase, and they were graded on the quality of that single piece. The second group, however, was asked to make as many vases as possible. It didn't matter how they looked, at the end of the month, the number of vases they produced would determine their grade. The surprising outcome? The best looking vases were made by the second group. Why? Because they were never afraid to mess up. Being open to mistakes, taking an iterative approach can take you miles ahead. Many great ideas are born from the application of bad ones. Many great games rise from the ashes of silly and stupid mechanics. The same applies to programming, writing, art, or any other skill. The people who make the best work aren't necessarily the most talented from the start. They're the ones who keep going, despite their failures. The ones who are willing to make 100 bad games before they make a good one. And this doesn't just apply to game development. Most aspects of life require trial and error to master. Before running a marathon, you don't buy the most expensive gear and take a course about how to finish a marathon. You just start running, adapt along the way, and find what works for you eventually. Imagine if musicians never played a note until they fully understood the music theory, or if athletes never trained until they were already in peak condition. That sounds ridiculous, yet so many people treat their creative pursuits this way. They wait for the perfect moment that never comes, rather than just starting and improving as they go. So if you take one thing from this, go run that race. Go make that game. I don't know, go cook that dish, I won't judge you. Stop waiting to achieve perfection before you begin. Trust that you are ready now. Even if you fail, do it again. Iterate and learn from your mistakes. No one gets it right the first time. The best way to improve is to do. Start small, finish projects, get feedback, and build your skills through action, rather than endless preparation. Doesn't that sound exactly like playing a video game?